The St. Louis Rams, who are coming off a big win over the San Francisco 49ers, traveled to Buffalo this week to take on the Bills. Buffalo is currently installed as a 3-point favorite in this game on BETDAQ. 42 is the total here. Now, Buffalo's been playing pretty well themselves. They won last week against Jacksonville. I know it was Jacksonville, but the Bills have won 2 out of their last 3. I know that's not much, but again, this is the Bills we're talking about here. They're 5-7, still clinging to some playoff hope, but they would have to win out. It's unlikely they'll make the playoffs. Rams are in a similar situation in the NFC. Rams are now 5-6-1. They do have to win out to make the playoffs. So both of these teams are most likely going to sit home for the postseason, but there's some positives, I think, some things to build on for both of these teams this year. I mean, for St. Louis, it's just been a good year. I mean, you can't. I don't care they have a losing record, 5-6-1. Last year, they won 2 games all season. And this year, they've been competitive in nearly every one of their games, with the notable exception of the game overseas at Wembley Stadium when they were blown out by the New England Patriots. Really, every other game, St. Louis has been very competitive. They're 8-4 against the spread this year, despite the fact they have a losing record. And even though they're only 1-3 on the road, and they're on the road this week, they are 4-1 against the spread on the road in their last 5 road games. So, again, they play tough. They play teams tough, whether it's home, on the road. And I've had a lot of success betting on the St. Louis Rams this year. Bet on them 4 times, and I've won all 4 times, including last week, which is why it almost pains me to say that I do lean towards the Buffalo Bills in this game. You know, the Bills have been playing well at home this season. Even though the Bills have had trouble handling prosperity recently, they've only covered once in their last 8 games following a win. I have a feeling that Buffalo has turned over a new leaf here over these last few weeks. They look like a different team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're actually playing very well in the secondary. Early in the season, this Buffalo defense was as bad as any unit in the league, but that just hasn't been the case here lately, and St. Louis does not have much on offense, especially if Danny Amendola can't play again this week. The Rams, you saw last week against San Francisco. I mean, the Rams' first 10 points of that game, and they only had 10 points, by the way, with 2 minutes left in the ball game, but their first 10 points of that game were scored on defense, a safety and then a defensive touchdown. Now, the Buffalo Bills, even though they have been improving on defense, nobody would ever confuse them with the San Francisco 49ers. Still, I'm not sure the Rams are going to be able to get much going against this Bills defense on the road on Sunday. And the Bills have a good, balanced offense. They're a top 5 rushing attack with Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller now both back healthy. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, even though he's taken some heat this season, you know, I guess I'm just sort of a Ryan Fitzpatrick guy because I seem to think he's better than most people think he is. I think he's going to be the best quarterback on the field on Sunday. I do think he's better than the former #1 overall draft pick, Sam Bradford. Overall, you know, all around, I feel like this is Buffalo's time here this week. And I said it almost pains me to go against St. Louis because the Rams have made me some money this year. You know, I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday who I respect, who told me this is his favorite game of the week, St. Louis. He made a convincing case, almost convinced me. He talked about how the better team is an underdog here. And I thought about that and I said, you know what? I'm not sure I disagree with you. If these all things being equal, these teams played on a neutral field 10 times. I think St. Louis might be slightly the better team. So yes, I think this is a time where the better team might be an underdog. However, I think Buffalo is going to win on Sunday. I do lean towards Buffalo -3 at home against the St. Louis Rams.